friend of mine, but during the whole pandemic thing, like we kind of fell apart quite a bit. And but regardless, he invited me for his baby shower, and I appreciate that. But the thing that like have resistance to it, it's like it's one of those invitation, and then and it's got like, I don't know, he probably put like 30 suggestion of gift, and they're not cheap. They're really not cheap. So then he says like, yeah, whenever you purchase one of those, then just check mark that one so nobody's buying it.
Right.
And I'm like to me, like I know like people like buy stuff, and I would buy something, but it's like it's almost getting forced to.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's like
and
having
maybe,
a registry for your wedding, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of insane for a baby shower.
Like I'm like, is it me that is wrong in that, or maybe I didn't grow up with gift? And to me, I never expect gifts. That's the thing. So if they bring them, fine, you know, like, but it's almost like getting forced to.
Yeah.
And I got resistance to it. I definitely have a lot of resistance to it, because I'm like, and it's not really the fact that it's the money thing. It's more like the fact that it's pushing people. Like, so this is my Christmas list, and then like, you know, if you're coming to my party, like buy me anything in that, and then we'll be friends. You know, it's like,
yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
So yeah, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've got resistance. So at first I said yes, and then now I'm just not sure, you know. I still want to go, but at the same time, like, I just don't want to feed that behavior.
Now we're coming somewhere. Yeah.
I don't find that's the new age movement.
No, it's not. But what's interesting is you're kind of at a choice point about whether this relationship is going to be beneficial to you in the future.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm coming in that crossroad.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, it's an opportunity to decide what we're going to leave behind and what we're going to take.
Right.
You know, and sometimes that's a who we're going to leave behind.
Yeah.
You know, and those are hard decisions to make, but here you have here's the opportunity to choose.
Yeah, it's just the fact, like, I've seen him just like once in the last 3 years. But the rest of the people that's going to be there, I'm thinking, like, I haven't seen them for 3 years. So that's why I'm like, well, that's a good opportunity to meet everybody and whatnot. But we don't associate with them, apparently, right? So,
well, on the other hand, on the other hand, you're not associating with these people now anyway, which might make it easier.
Right. Yeah.
To cut off and create your boundaries. Shit, that's hard to do that.
Yeah.
No, what do you want, Pascal?
I'm very undecided.
Yeah.
Very undecided.
What do you want?
I don't know. Because it's even a tougher decision because my wife cannot make it. So it'll be just me. So if she could make it,
well, that makes it easier too.
Yeah, that'd make it easier, and then yeah, it's on both ways kind of thing.
Yeah.
If she'll be coming, then I'd be like, it'd be easy for me to go. But then she's not coming, so it's easier to say no.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest something else, though, is that we change up the question from what do you want to what's best for me. Because you know already that you want to go, sort of, and
Right.
you also want to reconnect with those other people. You already kind of know that you want that, but that might not be best for you.
Right.
So it's an opportunity to choose for Pascal. And choose for Pascal's best good. And the best good of everyone involved. So to me, that's a higher level question to be asking.
Yeah, for sure.
The other benefit to that question too, that what's best for Pascal, is that it's an opportunity to start asking that question. And really sitting in that question. To me, it's the same as making the choice for abundance. It's like, okay, so what energy do I want to draw to myself? What energy makes my life more meaningful? What energy encourages my heart? What energy gives me health and vitality? What energy gives me a life I love? What energy allows my true nature to express itself?
Yeah, it becomes more and more clear that going there is not what's best for me.
Mm. How do you know?
I don't vibrate at the same level as them.
Wow. Holy
that's
crap.
It's
That's
not to
huge
say
for you,
like I'm better
Pascal.
or anything. It's just like a
No,
different
no.
level.
No,
It's not.
because it isn't about better or not. It's nothing about the same level or a different level either. It's not that you're over, above, or below. Yeah. But you just said it in a nutshell. I don't vibrate at the same level as they do.
Yeah. It's just
Not
not
anymore.
matching.
Not anymore. It doesn't
Mhm.
match. Yeah. Yeah. Better question. Hmm.
Well, how's the resistance now?
Yeah, it's a lot less because the choice become more and more clear.
Mm-hmm.
Because before I felt like I was forced to go, and then I was forced to buy whatever. But now I feel I'm not forced to do anything.
Yeah. A path of freedom showed up, didn't it?
Well, that's always, I mean, that's one way to to lessen the resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the aim, if that's the intention. And that energy, that resistance, that whatever dissipates. and can be taking that resistance and turning it into creative energy too.
Mhm.
That would be a yes and. So those are two ways to change the resistance. Avoid and create. Those are two ways.
Mhm. Feel my circle of friends is getting smaller and smaller.
Hmm.
But in the same time, I'm totally fine with it.
It's the difference between what your self-conscious wants and what your heart wants.
Yeah, like I'm not forcing to be someone else that I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. So here's another thing that's coming to me for you is if you decide to disengage from the energy of those people, you call in new people.
Yeah.
You call in new energy
Mm-hmm.
to replace them. And it's easier because you always have us.
Yeah.
You know, we're with you and we're vibing with you. So it's not like you're disengaging cold turkey. You have support.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's already happening because at one point we invite them just for lunch, dinner, I can remember. Dinner, I think. And we invite 3 couples and only one showed up, and the one that we didn't expect to showed up, and the other 2, like, well, the one that invited me for the baby shower says like, oh, I got to do some renovation, and then the other one had an emergency, so
Mhm.
which was all good. And we had such a beautiful night with this couple that we knew a little bit, but like I couldn't believe like how much I vibrate the same level.
Mm,
You know, it was just like, yeah. And
yeah.
since then, like we become like better and better friend. And it's only like my wife that is falling a little bit behind.
Yep.
You know, there's concept that she doesn't understand, but when she hears it from someone else instead of me, then it's a bit easier for her to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's got to cut off, you know. She you know, at one point she's like, okay, that's enough. I had enough. I heard
Yeah.
enough about spirituality, or
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
but she accepted. She's really good, you know. So
Yeah, so it's important to notice the intention is either to get out of the resistance or to create it or to go for what we want.
mm-hmm.
And that's where like aligning to the passions and the truths matter. I'm not saying like this is just part of a choice point.
Yeah.
Is well, my friends they're not vibrating higher than me, and if you were to have a choice point of raising the world's vibrations, that would be inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was my point. Like I says like, oh, this morning I had this thought. I was like, oh, maybe like that would be a good opportunity to help these people
Mm.
and see where they're at. But yeah.
Mm. So
Yeah.
choices can be slippery.
Yeah.
One serves the purpose and passion and one doesn't.
Yeah, and I told myself this morning, I said like, okay, maybe I should just give them like a one last shot to see if there's anybody that, you know,
Yeah.
wants to keep going.
And the beautiful thing is in your mind and in your space, you can say yes and take yourself to the end of the party, and say no and take yourself to the end of the party.
Yeah.
It's one way that we can work through choices.
Right.
Work through the unknown, work through not knowing what to do. I mean, point is, no is always, quote, the easier one because it releases the resistance. But we don't get the benefit. We don't get the benefit of the lesson.
For some of us, no is an easier is an easier choice. And that's been one of the greatest learnings of mine over the last 6 months, especially is to know what to say no to,
Right.
and know who to say no to. It's like altruism that we were talking about a few days ago.
Mm.
Remember that, Pascal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to be an altruist, meaning that I assume that I kind of assume that my presence makes everything better. But because of that, a lot of times I can make choices that jeopardize my own well-being.
Mm.
Okay, and that's why the question came up for me today. What's best for Pascal? Because as we're recalibrating to a higher frequency, the rules are kind of different. Like especially about about protecting our well-being, protecting our growth, protecting our learning, and all that stuff means that, yeah, you know, the new vibe that we're in is being adjusted to, let's put it that way. And while that's going on, it's more susceptible to being knocked off the trail.
So you've had a baby. What's the best thing for a baby, for you and your baby? The best gift or the best, what makes your life easier?
For me, it's the connection.
Mm,
To feel even more connected.
Great. How could you bring that gift to the party?
Well, that's the thing. Like I will still shine because I'm always the life of the party. You would say, you know.
yeah.
I'm silly. I'm playful. I'm everything in the party.
So sorry. In bringing the gift, how could you bring that gift for the host?
In terms of connection or playfulness, or
So I heard your most meaningful gift is the connection that you have with your son.
yeah.
So that is what I mean, is wrap that up in a gift and give it to them as the gift that it's not on the checklist, but it's like, this is my greatest gift that I could give you.
Mm,
Just options, yeah. Creators create options.
yeah.
That's why I asked, what's the one that you value the most? What's the biggest gift that like, well, not gift, but what tool, what thing is most important in your baby, right? In your development, in your relationship? What's helped you the most? And it's like, that's the most important gift to give anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what he's asking for. He hasn't been in the situation.
Yeah, it's to bring that connection, but not forcefully. Right? Just be myself, and yeah, maybe more be like a demonstration of connection without being someone that I'm not. Because I feel most of the time like we wear these masks in a relationship. We try to be what people wants us to be instead than being what we want to be.
Same thing. That's when I said no, like it's easier for most to say no. Not that it matters that it's the no or yes. What matters is what's the automatic, what's the default, what's the tendency. Very similar to what you just spoke. Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, if the gifts like force, like, so if there's force, you're giving your power away to something, something's forcing you. So you're not in your power, first of all. And then the second of all is like, oh, how do I get out of it? And if I'm gonna go, how would I share the gift of my connection with Kai with him? If that was your best gift to give.
Mm-hmm.
Just as examples.
Yeah.
And so often that resistance, we want to get away from it. We want to get out of it. But so our habits are to do that. There's timing again, Craig.
Yeah.
I mean, we sit in and it's like, oh, we try to release all the tension. We try to release the resistance, release all this, let it all go, da, da, da. And it's like, well,
maybe it's not time for that.
Yeah, right. Or it's like, yeah, that's what I think too. Or, you know, how do we like not change it from the, so how do we change it from the resistance to flowing?
I know I need help from the other energies that are out there that are kind of suggesting certain courses of action. Because when I had that massive detachment that happened almost a year ago now, I never would have made that on my own had it not been really it was forced on me, but in a very gentle way. You know, and through that, I've come to recognize the pressure of love.
It's an interesting phrase.
Yeah. Intentionally so.
pressure can still be a force, but I didn't hear a negative to it.
No, no. No, and
It's
that
just
doesn't mean that it wasn't painful, because it was extremely painful. But it wasn't forceful. It wasn't an obligation type force. It was a I'll hold on to you tight as you live through this.
Supporting pressure. It's like
Yeah,
sitting in a chair, there's pressure when you sit in a chair.
yeah, yeah. And see, I realize now, looking back on it, that it was what was best for Craig.
There you go.
You know. It sure didn't look like it at the time. It looked like hell. It felt like hell. Dying isn't any fun. It's like, it's still hard to believe that I lived through that.
You wouldn't sign up for it if you were not capable of going through.
Well, that's the other thing. Initiations are like that.
Yeah. That would be new creations are like that then.
Oh yeah, but in a much different way.
Maybe. Uniquely, every one of them uniquely is different, but structurally, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah. Have you heard the saying, perfect love casts out fear? I mean, that's what that experience did for me. It removed a hell of a lot of fear.
Yeah.
All at once.
Yeah, and I like. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it's both. Depends how you look at it. So I'd say it was more of a neutral thing. And I get to choose how to interpret it.
Yeah,
I get to choose what meaning I give to it.
I think that's the fundamental. That's the fundamental of it. Yeah. It's like it's happening, right? And it's like, well, our choice to it is how we respond to it.
Right.
It's like fuck in the middle of it. In the middle of it, it would be completely different.
Yep.
Only afterwards. I mean, it's that. In all reality, all you're going off of is a gut feeling.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the benefit of the experience too, is because I, like you say, going off gut feeling and going, going off inner knowing. My trust level of my own inner knowing went off the charts from going through that experience. Like my whole intuition side just blossomed like I couldn't have imagined. It's like that part of me was held captive before.
There's such an expectation that when you start doing that, then everything becomes roses. Becomes easy, becomes cream, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Full of abundance just falls in your lap. That is what's sold.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, and like manifesting in ways that I never imagined.
And still measured to the old ways, huh?
Well, that's exactly my point. Is I don't bother measuring the old way.
That's right.
Anymore, because it's pointless. I got a totally different perspective on what manifesting is all about.
Yeah.
And it's an experiential view. And I looked at my whole life experience very differently than I did before too. And as we've talked before too, it's like a total new respect for my own true nature and how friggin' magnificent it is,
I do.
Those parts of me were inaccessible before.
Yeah. Locked up, like you said, caged up, hidden.
Yeah.
An unknown that they were hidden and locked up.
Yeah.
Yet angry and frustrated and stressed, and that was my version of it.
Yeah. 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 You know, it's really a freedom from oppression story. And I couldn't have imagined that either, you know. Here we are talking about it. And kind of understanding each other.
Yeah. Without the validation that would sell something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
If the selling was what we were to be doing,
But how do you sell freedom? You know, like it's
yeah. How do you prove that it works?
well, right. Yeah. It's that word, the word that Joe and I have wrestled over a lot is it's intangible.
Yeah, and not until you step into it for yourself does it have any value.
Right, exactly.
Similar to like Pascal, like what we were as a could gift. It's like a conversation with your friend of this is how I'm connecting with my son, my child.
Yeah.
It's not on the list.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're not vibrating as high as I am. But I do want to change the world.
Yeah.
But no one wants to listen until they've seen it for themselves. Until they ask, oh, what did you do? And so that means it's like when your son's growing and then they can compare sons or children and they're dissatisfied with theirs. They'll look at Pascal and say, oh, Pascal, what did you do?
Yeah.
20 some years later.
Yeah. When they're tearing their hair out.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
Yeah. Because they got
Or it's Pascal's pulling his hair out, and then you go to them and be like, "Oh, what did you do?" Oh, it was all these things that I got on my gift register for my shower. That is what did it for me.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what do you have any of those things, Pascal?
If I have those, what?
On the gift registry? I was just, I don't know why. It's like, were those necessities that you needed to or found valuable for your child?
No.
Yeah, it's like no, that must have been an online list of somewhere, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not material. That's not. I mean, we don't need anything really.
Gotcha.
No, I'm detaching so fast from material that I don't find value beside just the normal thing that I need to do. Like I need a car. Do I need the most expensive car? No, but I need a reliable car. You know, Do I need a shelter? Yes, I need a house. So I got a house, but I don't need like a castle. So I become a more basic necessity. But to me, like you see okay, you need this stroller, this exact stroller, and then you need, these pads, and then you need the, it was just like, wow, there's no room for choices.
Force, yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee like that list is probably $10,000 to $12,000. I'm like, you're raising a really expensive child. But I see it with Ty, like, he doesn't care. He's sitting in like a $300 like car seat versus like a $600 or whatever. Like, he doesn't care. Like anything, you get him like something that is fairly expensive, and then he's just like leave it or leave it beside him, and you're like,
Plays with the box
my
that it
God.
came in.
What's that?
They play with the box that it came in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't pull the thing out of the box.
They do, and they play with the box instead. I mean, that's Christmas. Little kids at Christmas, that's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but what about the
exactly.
gift? The box
Crazy.
I can do like a car, and
Crazy.
I can transform this box so much more. This gift, it's just what it is. That's it.
Fancy
No
colors,
more
it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fills up our landfills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time. Big time.
That's interesting. That's where Amazon has to be responsible for that scope 3
Yeah.
emissions.
Yeah. And you get like, you buy something from Amazon. I still don't get that. You get this small thing, I don't know, like a toothbrush, for example. I don't know. And then like it's this giant box. Why? I understand it's recycle, but not everybody recycle, right? I do, but in the same time, I'm like, why you didn't give me like a small package? Like, I never understand how they box things.
Because they only have a few sizes of boxes.
Put it in,
And that has to do with shipping and all that kind of stuff.
put it in a Ziploc bag.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, a big driver to that is it had to be, remember it had to be there in, now it has to be there in within a couple of hours. So,
Oh, really?
In
a couple hours?
In the cities where they do it, but that's different.
Yeah.
Boxing's not a concern there, but what used to be, oh, look, you'll get it in 2 days. That was the big sell. Now you'll get it in a day, and it's like all of that is just so it doesn't matter. The focus is getting it to you.
Right. Yeah.
It's all patterns, right? It's all patterns. It's where the focus goes, and then we figure out breakdowns later on, and
Yeah, it's all logistics.
There's less and less anticipation, like, remember back then, like, you get a package after a month, like you order from the US, you get it after a month. And then like you get so excited because, you look at the tracking, be like,
What did I get?
It's on its way. It's on its way.
Yeah.
Oh, why is it blocked? Why is it blocked right now? Like, why is it not moving, right?
Yeah, it's
But
in
now it's
customs or something stupid.
Yeah, and within a day, and you're like, oh, okay. It's almost like going to the grocery, to go to the grocery and then just pick it up on the shelf. It's like, I know it's convenient, but for me, I love that anticipation.
Yeah, now we sit there and be like, oh, I don't know what it is. I forgot what I ordered.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Patterns, yeah.
Hmm.
And it's companies giving us what we want.
Yeah. But is it really what we want?
Right. I think, well, no,
Well, it's what
I'm
we
with
think
you.
we want.
That
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
That's what we think.
And it's them setting up what we should want. Because that's offers are creating a new thing that, like that's what retail is always a new thing. It's like to get you to move to it, to stop what you're doing and do something new.
Yeah. To convince you want something
That's right. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
enough to actually buy it.
That's what I'm trying, right? So we all do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's our model. It's our model.
Yeah, it's a pattern that we've given power to.
Yeah, it's innate in us. It's like, I think 2 days ago, I got someone that deliver coffee to me, and then instead than just like deliver me coffee, he trying to sell me something else. And it's just like, no, like I just want my coffee. My coffee, like, that's it. But it's just like we're at this time that we need to sell things. It's just like, and that's why I didn't like that. I like the concept of a network marketing, but I hate doing it. Kind of cut the marketing aspect, but you do the marketing, and then you're like, I don't want to call my friends and like try to force them to buy something that I know they don't need. So then I pretty much said no, but he's like, oh yeah, but you have no idea. This thing is phenomenal. And then like, I can come like later this month and then show you guys how the business works. Like, no. You don't have to. Don't waste your time, don't waste mine.
And I hear you sitting in, oh, what's best for Pascal?
Yeah, what's best for Pascal is just to
That's what I hear you telling yourself and standing up to and saying like, no, look, I am this, I'm valuable enough. I know what I want. I know what, no, don't. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Just wanted to bring it in is that bring it to existence that you're not caving right into that. You're not that pressure, right? That pressure that's there. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're standing in what you want. And it's like, that's how pendulums work too, when it becomes a bombardment.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely been in my power. Oh, I can say no. But I always listen, right? Like, 'cause you never know. You never know. Like, maybe, it's something I want that I don't know yet. But every time it's a, it's a network marketing, it's tough, but it's easy for me. I'm like, no, I've done it. It's just not for me. Not for me. Yeah, so it becomes more and more clarity. Yeah, like the question of like what is good for me. I really like that one. Yeah, if it gets too loud, just mute me. It shouldn't be too bad because I got one of the new truck today, so. But feel free.
I think so much of it comes down to how, you know, how much control we think we've got, when in all reality, we really don't. Meaning in terms of timing, right? It's like like I can notice I can sit in the feeling for a while, and rather than trying to get rid of it, right? But just still asking, like, why is it here? What's this about? What's the meaning of that? And not trying to avoid it, right? Not trying to get away from it, but what is it really trying to tell me? And then it's like then it's like at some point, it's like, oh, boom, there. Oh, that's that. And it's like, okay, go with that, right? And never knowing which one is going to be the one, right? That breaks it through.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's like, oh, it might be that next one, that
Yeah.
next action, right?
Right.
That's always.
But that's a shift for me too, like being able to sit in those hard feelings,
Yeah.
you know, and be okay with it. It's definitely a shift.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like, oh, I need to brush it off because, like, oh,
Right.
I'm Pascal. I'm always happy.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot be seen not happy.
Or another, and like for me, it was like if things aren't going well, it's like, oh, I have to be stressed about it, right? I have to push it. I have to do things for it, you know? And it's like, oh, we're worried about it, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's the only guarantee that's there, right? There's no clarity in it.
Yeah. So you apply destructive energy at it
Yeah.
without realizing that that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Right. No,
Yeah, because
had
there's
a-
correct timing and there's also correct action.
you know, and I had a big aha yesterday. Last night, really. It's, you know, I have them before I go to bed usually, or they can show up there, and it was like, oh, so it like gives me what to focus on today. That shifts the strategy enough that I didn't. I was holding myself back on this one piece because I couldn't see how to get around it.
Yeah.
Does it move it any faster? Probably not. As if it has to go faster, right? Well, certain things around me say that it does have to go faster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard like a good analogy about creation that really stunned me. So imagine you're in the car, and then say you're putting your GPS to go, I don't know, like 300 miles, say, you know, or 300 kilometers. Like, say for me, like it's Edmonton. And then that's your goal. That's where you want to go. And you know you're going to be there in like, whatever, like 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. So that's your creation. That's what you want. But like, I don't know, a quarter of the way, you have it on the GPS. You get out and then like, you look out and then be like, get out of the car and be like, oh, is Edmonton close? Can I see Edmonton from here? And then, oh, no. And then you get back in the car. And that's what we do. And then like halfway, you're like, oh, is my creation almost there? You know, we never do that. We never do that, right? But in creation, we're like, oh, am I close to my creation? You know, get out of the car, be like, oh, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, I can see a pattern. It's like, oh, am I going to go in the right direction? And when I'm not going the right direction, how panicky I get. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the old map days, right? Like drive through the city with a map. Oh, shit me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a skill that some of us had and some of us definitely did not.
Yeah. I was not a city
And
boy.
we're always like stopping at the gas station. You stop at the gas station. I remember my dad stopping at always the gas station. Oh, do you know what that is? And it's this young man. I don't know. I'm not too sure. You know, why a gas station?
Yeah.
It's just young guys, you know, having like this summer job or whatever. So, but I thought it was a good idea. We're like, you know, we're always like, he says, when you put something that you really want, sit back and relax. You know, stop looking.
Yeah.
That's I said it yesterday. I heard that Robert, a guy was interviewing Robert Fritz, right? The guy, like he's big in structure, and he said, "What are you most proud of?" And he says, "My next one, my next one."
Biophotons.
Yeah, my next one. It's like, oh, what an awesome answer. Same thing, right? It's like,
Yeah, because this
Pattern.
one has already been created.
Mhm.
Right. As soon as like you say, that's what I want, and you have no doubt about it, the universe will just bring it to you. It might not be like the exact same way that you want it, you know, but if you have no expectation, it'll come to you.
That's part of the reason why all this manifesting is so putrid, is because people keep going after what they think they want.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the time to find out what you really want, you know.
And creating from our thoughts.
Yeah, creating from our thoughts instead of from our hearts.
Yeah. From higher frequency.
Yep.
Yeah, because I come back to the guy that healed himself. You might be able to heal yourself like in the physical plane. You might. But I guarantee you it'll be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Than if you go to a higher plane. Because that's not where it started. Same as our creation. they don't start from the physical and then they get created in the astral and whatever, right? Like all the other planes. It's the opposite around.
Yeah, yeah.
So why don't we just start from like the root cause? We keep hearing that in the medical industry, right?
Yeah.
Stop fixing the symptoms. Fix the root cause. Well, the root cause is it's not in the physical.
But that's all medicine's done in the last 100 years is
Yeah.
deal with symptoms. Yeah. I mean, that's what's frustrated me the most about having a chronic condition is that every single practitioner that I went to wanted to address symptoms. I'm going like, no, been there, done that, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Suppressing symptoms, suppressing our emotion, right? How many ads we hear like, oh, you're supposed to be happy, and then like, here's the pill to be happy. But we know it's not the right way.
And side effects are diarrhea, rashes, cramping, headaches.
Possible
You
death.
you can't walk,
I
but you
heard
will be
that.
happy.
I heard that on an ad
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. I said, yeah, it could even be death. You know, there's the fine print. The after effects could be fatal.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll fix your blood pressure, but you might not be able to get it up. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, right.
but yeah, it's just in the disclaimer. I mean, like, what do you want? You know, we can't fix everything.
Well, you can't fix anything,
Yeah, no, exactly.
is the truth of it.
I thank you for sharing that guy's methodology. I've still been sitting with it. Really have enjoyed that. You know, his desire, thoughts, feelings, actions, habits, behaviors, feedback, right? That's kind of how I hold it.
Yeah.
And I was just, as I was thinking about that this morning, you know, it was like, how interesting how the difference, like at desire to thinking. And it's like where marketing, desire, our thinking, and then it's like marketing comes in there and tries to, from out there, where desire's in here, and then it's out there, and they come right at our thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and it's like just trying to replace our own desire with their desire.
Yeah, it's desire, intention.
Yeah, there you go.
Desire, intention, thoughts, feeling, action.
Thank you.
Habits and behavior. Yeah, no worries. And I feel it's true. I mean, like that's. But yeah, like the first two are, they vibrate pretty high, and then like when you get to the thoughts, like, yeah, it vibrates a lot lower.
That's what marketing goes after, right? Is right at your desires and your intentions that shapes your thoughts and feelings and actions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's how society's trained you to operate,
Yep.
right? So we exploit that.
Yep.
And they're not your defaults, but they're your training.
Mhm.
That's why it's so hard to learn how to operate out of your 3Gs. Because all your conditioning has been set up to disavow them in the first place, but then to suppress them into oblivion.
To cast doubt on them, to invalidate them is really what it's come down to.
Yeah. And the thing is, it appears that a lot has been achieved without them.
Well, yeah. Feedback isn't always immediate.
Well, yeah. I was at a conference in October where the guy who is running it, I've never in my life seen anybody manage the energy of a room the way this guy did. And he even made a statement like, he made a statement right in the middle of the conference. He said something like, intuition is bogus. I'm going like, yeah, you don't realize that's exactly what you're doing. Like he thought it was all this cognitive intellectual thing that he was doing because he learned this and this and this, but he's extremely intuitive and he totally disavowed it. Which is kind of comical to me.
And knowing without knowing.
Yeah. Having all this power and being totally unaware of it, but exploiting it, like exploiting himself to his own detriment. That's what's really killed me about it. I know that he doesn't see it that way, but he was abusing himself for success.
Yeah, denying your superpower.
Denying his true nature. They one of the parts of that conference is they hooked us up with a peer support some kind, and we exchanged phone numbers and that. And so I keep calling this lady back, and I'm progressing like crazy. And she was like not really a peer, but she had joined this program to be at this conference and to be a support person or to be kind of like a mentor to someone who was a new attendee. And every time I call her, she's got this trouble or that trouble or this trouble or that. And I'm going like, holy crap, I'm changing the world here. And I keep sharing that stuff with her and it drives her nuts. But it's kind of funny how it's turned out to be that way. It's funny, the conference was called CORE, CORE. But what's kind of ironic to me about that is that the core issues were never addressed. Like the core wounds, the core issues, the core resistance, the core anything. None of that was ever addressed.
So what was addressed?
A whole bunch of surface stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of that that's kind of true with Chris as well. I mean, the perception is that you can't market something that actually gets right down to the nuts and bolts. That, you know, something that gets right to the root causes. You can't market that because people don't want to deal with their root causes. People want to believe that it's anything but, you know, which is why people keep buying courses all the time. And people keep looking for answers outside of themselves because it's scary. It's scary to look at yourself. I've been doing a lot of
that's
contemplating. Go ahead.
Yeah, meditation is uncomfortable.
Well, it can be, but even that's been diluted to the point where, you know, you have these nice little visualizations now that everybody's doing, and they don't really address anything. They just, you know, get you running through meadows and shit like that. So it's just another avoidance technique.
Mm.
You know. I was gonna say what I've been contemplating the last few days, especially from these conversations that we've been having, is about facilitating recovery, facilitating actual recovery. And you know, for me, that's required like coming to a complete stop. And the cost of coming to a complete stop. And then when you're in a complete stop, allowing your core energy to recover itself. And giving yourself experiences that allow that to happen. You know, experiences like this one we're having right now, for example. I mean, just today in this moment, I'm accessing parts of myself that I never knew existed. You know, and I'm sure both of you could say the same thing.
Yeah, we're shining lights. We're shining lights on things.
Yeah. But it's not just that. I mean, we're practicing those things too. Right.
But
We're
sometimes
playing
like
with
the
them and-
light is too bright for some people.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like if you use a flashlight and then like you point it to the eye of someone else.
Yeah.
So when you're too bright, then you know you fear people, even though maybe you have the truth or your truth.
Yeah.
But it's too much for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said that too. There's been people that I've spooked. With my light.
That's why if I go to that party,
Yep.
I'm gonna shine, shine, baby, shine. And if they don't like it, then that's their issue.
Yeah. Well, that's the other
Mhm.
side of it too, you know.
Yeah, look at the power swap. It's like, oh, it's now you put the choice on them
Mm-hmm.
rather than them forcing a choice on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna shy away from my knowledge, my power, my truth. Why do I have to run away?
Who said anything about running away?
Yeah. Because I felt force and whatnot, but now I'm like, I see it in a different way.
Do you know now what's best for you?
I'm still not sure, but I'd explore a different side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I create options.
Yep. Yeah.
And now I feel like I'll be happy no matter what with my choice because it will be my choice.
Yeah. And can you be your authentic self no matter what you choose?
Yes, I can.
There you go. Then it really doesn't matter what you choose, does it?
No. But it's like, yeah, like when I felt that resistance, I was dealing it with the thoughts.
Mm,
Now you said, what's best for me? So that's my desire. And that's when I went like deeper and deeper. And that's when I was able to explore other options,
yeah.
create choices. But it doesn't come from my thoughts anymore.
So how did that happen?
Well, it happens because you ask the question, or you formulate a different question.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah, we switch the focus.
Mm,
And it feels damn good.
Great awareness.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's quite profound.
Mhm. Creators, right? Just create
yeah.
spaces. Oh, I think of it this way. And it's like, oh, how could I? Could, that could word. How else could I? Or just with the question, what's best for me?
Yeah, how could I create what's best for me? I wonder how I could create what's best for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you say like great awareness, but it's just the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. But the
Well,
truth tends to be somewhat elusive, you know?
that's right. Absolute truth and our reality truth, right? It's almost like
Yeah. Yeah.
our historical truth, our experiential truth is different than the truth.
Yeah.
Like laws of nature and our laws, the city laws, or
You know, that you're powerful or you're not.
yeah, yeah.
It's like what part of it is we believe our beliefs are the truth, when in all reality we have to look at them and they're not,
Mm-hmm.
because no one has told us what the truths are. The absolute truths. Almost as if, like we don't have a choice, and the truth is we do.
We
Some of
always
our-
do.
Yeah, some of the, we have to fight when we don't. Or I have to be afraid. Like the truth is, I'm fearful. It's like, it's just a feeling. It's just the emotion, positive or negative. It doesn't have to be either one. The importance is, what are we labeling it as? Which one are we giving it? That's the key to awareness. Well, guys, are you complete for the day?
Yeah, I feel like we're raised above, just like the water and the oil. We're still part of it, but we're sitting on top.
Rise up, rising higher.
Yeah.
That's always better, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, great call this morning. Glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back. Thanks
Yeah,
for
me
being with
too.
us this morning.
Me too.
That's right.
Missed you.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll always try like to be here for the call.
Yep.
As much as I can.
3 people's always better than 2.
Yeah.
Always. Always.
It always is. So yeah.
All right,
It's one of
guys,
the
have a
first
great
lessons
day.
we learned in this group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
The power of 3. It's magic. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like the person, the money, and the superconscious, right? So to look at like the 2 perspective, always a person that is not talking can like look at both sides
Mm-hmm.
always.
Yeah.
And bring in insight, and one guy goes above, and then we're just interchanging roles.
Yeah.
So we can look at different angle all the time. So it's we're exploring a lot, much more deeper.
That's a whole nother level to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Power of threes.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you all too.
All right. Next
Have a
time.
great day.
Yep, big love, everybody.
Big love.
Yeah,
Bye.
big love.